who have said that their lives are at risk because they are encountering these UAPs, and sometimes there's near collisions with them that are reported. It is very disturbing, the level of activity, especially near our military bases and nuclear facilities. So it certainly is a security risk. But the biggest concern is that we know that there are programs that are operating in the dark, and they're not following the law. They're not reporting to Congress what their activities are. And so we need to remedy that. That's the purpose of oversight, is to make sure. I think we have a responsibility to root out where agencies are trying to avoid Congress.
Yeah, because given the subject of UAPs and among others, it appears that in fact the government is outside the control of either the democratic or judicial processes. Does this sort of match your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one thing when David Grusch, testified in the hearing, and he talked about how these special access programs are, the overall program is compartmentalizing this topic into these many individual special access programs across the Department of Defense, Department of Energy, and intelligence. And so that way, none of these particular special access programs know the overall, what's happening overall. That was, and that level of secrecy, and what was confirmed by the Office of Inspector General when they investigated Grusch's claims that they're not being transparent. They were able to confirm, that Grusch is right, that these agencies are not being fully transparent, and they are over compartmentalizing.
And
they weren't going to confirm the other things that Grusch said, that these are aliens from another planet, but that's not for them to do.
Sure.
David Grusch was right. That's what the Inspector General found, and that's what Eric Burlison is talking about here. So let's give a listen.
And what was confirmed by the Office of Inspector General when they investigated Grusch's claims that they're not being transparent. They were able to confirm, that Grusch is right, that these agencies are not being fully transparent, and they are over compartmentalizing.
Okay, so they're confirming that David Grusch is right about the secrecy and the over-compartmentalization of the UFO control group. And of course, many have spoken to that. Bob Lazar has talked about how they were more concerned with secrecy than they were with actually getting results from trying to understand this technology. That's how secret it was. And we've heard from others saying that, and I think even David Grusch has spoken to this, that they spend more on keeping this stuff secret than they do on the actual projects themselves, which is crazy. But I mean, I guess that's why we are in the place that we are in. 80 years on, we still don't have disclosure, and it's become stigmatized, very deliberately so. They have brainwashed the American public and the people of the world into thinking this is a tinfoil hat, cuckoo conspiracy kind of thing, when clearly it is not. And that is all by design. And they keep these, compartments and these projects super secret. So can we crack the egg on this? Well, that was what Eric Burlison and David Grusch and the others in the Declassification Task Force are trying to do right now, trying to, turn the next leaf, trying to get us that disclosure, trying to pierce the veil of secrecy surrounding these overly compartmentalized secret programs. And the Inspector General has now apparently been on record saying that they agree with Grusch that this is in fact happening. Obviously, they're not going to go there with the UFO stuff. As Eric says, that's not for them to decide. That's for others investigating this and, the public to decide. But they are at least admitting that the secrecy is real. And hopefully that means that now, something can be done about it. Now Congress can become galvanized to actually unravel these secrets and pierce that veil of secrecy.
And given that this whole phenomenon seems to be global, are there any type of plans to collaborate with any international governments or organizations to address these issues more comprehensively?
I don't think so, and I don't think that will ever happen, because I think that if it truly is some kind of technology that is off-world, then there's a race to basically, to be able to get that technology, to reverse engineer that technology, if that's the case. So there's no way that they're going to work together with other nations on that. But one of the things I found really interesting is that the ARROW, which is the agency that's currently studying the UAP phenomenon, what they said to us is that the topic of aliens from another planet or these UFOs is not top secret. It's actually not a secret. It is. What I mean is that it's not a classified topic. It's not something that the federal government even has the ability to keep secret, because at the end of the day, the government is to protect government secrets, not information about something that's outside of the federal government. But a lot of times, where the rubber meets the road is that you have footage or photos that have captured these objects, and the technology behind what has captured them through video or photos is top secret. And so because of that makes it extremely difficult to get access to view what information that we do have. And the technology behind what has captured them through video or photos is top secret.
Okay, I call bullshit on that, Eric. That's what ARROW told him, and he believes ARROW? Nonsense. What about the UFOs, Eric? What about the UFOs? What about Roswell? 80 years ago, whenever that happened, we've got ships. We've got bodies, y'all, but we've also got ships, y'all. We've got crafts, y'all. And of course, we have bodies from that incident and various other incidents. Why were they not revealed to the American people? You think it was the photographs that were sensitive back then? No, I don't think so. Keep the photographs. Give us the bodies. Give us the ships. Obviously a bullshit response. Maybe Eric believes it. I don't know. But that is what ARROW is telling him. Hopefully he and others will wake up and realize that ARROW is nothing but a disinformation outfit. That's their job.
How was the comparison from the Grusch environment to the hearing with Lou Elizondo?
Yeah, with Lou, that hearing, I don't know that there was a lot said that was different. If anything, it's underscoring what was said in the previous hearing. And as someone who is a skeptic, one has to wonder, we continue to have people from the deep state, from the military industrial complex, come forward and blow a whistle. At some point, it continues to lend credibility to the previous testimony.